People who survived a murder attempt, what is your story? I did in fact have to be resuscitated during wound closure. I also had to have an arteriogram, and a chest tube and was on a ventilator when I woke up several hours later. I was absolutely convinced that the tubes running down my throat were actually some sort of government mind-reading tubes, and they were trying to get access to the boys' group chat. No. Please no. Blackness. It took me waking up 5 or 6 more times to finally realize that the thing was breathing for me, and the group chat was safe. The world would not go up in flames. Every time I fell asleep when I went deep, my body just stopped doing its job and I would cease to breathe on my own so the ventilator would kick in. I was in ICU for about 36 or so hours, then trauma, then regular hospital bed. Every single person I met in the hospital, and also the PA who took my 43 staples out 10 days later, told me in one way or another you are a walking miracle. Millimeters in either direction and you would likely not be here today. I had almost forgotten how it happened. But I couldn't forget yet. The case had not been settled. The assailant just last month finally accepted a plea to first-degree attempted murder premeditated. And his sentencing hearing was supposed to be a week ago, but he got it continued to August. So how does it feel? At first, I was in total shock. There I was, sitting on a park bench saying some heinous things to the boys. I didn't really understand what he was doing until sometime between the second and third stab. Then my fight or flight kicked in. I stood up as best I could and started yelling, "Call 911, get him off me." Maybe his yelling, "Die you nasty freak, die. Drown me out." Anyway, I also was shimmying down the side of the picnic table to get away from him. He hit me so hard on that table that he broke a rib. I didn't feel it, I was not exactly afraid, I was very focused on that "get him off me, call 911" line of reasoning. Once I got to the end of the table and was able to then run away from him, I started to notice things like the stabbing pain in what I assumed was my left lung, and the rivers of blood running down my chest from the shoulder wounds. I could not stop talking. Don't let the darkness consume you. Fear began to kick in. I could see that he was still trying to get to me, but my friends were throwing things at him to steer him away from me. What had I done to deserve this? Surely, he had not seen the group chat. The police sirens became audible and he started to walk away, and I returned my focus to not bleeding out and dying. To this day, I wonder if he could read minds and knew what the fellas were discussing in the group chat.